One thing we do on this channel is bring attention to how bad steroids can be for your health. I've been a personal trainer and a gym owner for the last 12 years, and I've seen it dozens and dozens of times where lads as young as 15 are hopping on heavy steroids, and this was even before the TikTok age. Now you've got people on TikTok glorifying the use of steroids. People are now dedicating their entire TikTok accounts to documenting their steroid journey, and recently we had a lad who's only 20 years old have a heart attack caused by steroids. Now if you didn't see my original video on this subject talking about the fact he's had a heart attack, you can go and watch that. But a quick summary is, just over a year ago I done a reaction video to one of the videos by this lad, and I said in the video if he doesn't get his act together and come off the steroids, he's gonna end up having a heart attack.
The time when I first took here, basically just say fuck it and get massive 200 mg of MPP, 400 mg of test, and 80 mg of S23, and I did that for 10 weeks, and it turned me into a water buffalo. I was having some problems. My EKG was very high, and I was having blood pressure issues to the point where I had to take blood pressure medication for a while. So I decided to do Tren A for this next cycle for 150 mg, and then Mass P 200 mg, and then test at 200 mg. And I got really shredded. And when I did that, my blood pressure actually went down, surprisingly, even though I was on Tren.
The reason why I show you this stuff is because I want to show you the dark side and the reality of taking gear. The guy just said he was noticing blood pressure problems and heart problems, so he hopped on Tren. How does that work? But you've got to read in between the lines. He said despite being on Tren, his blood pressure came down. Yes, that's because you've dropped body weight. Nothing to do with the Tren whatsoever. He said his EKG was very high. This could mean potential heart problems further down the line. Ask yourself, is it really, really worth it? I predicted that something bad was going to happen. Now, I'm not exactly happy about that. I don't want the lad to have a heart attack. But it's kind of a blessing in disguise, because since this heart attack, he's now speaking out against steroids. I'll just show you the clip.
Hey guys, delt.daddy here. About a month and a half post-op of my heart attack. Things have been very different for me. A whole lifestyle change. You know, not taking PEDs anymore. Never will take PEDs anymore. And I've been educating other people to stay away from PEDs in general. But besides that, my health has actually been very, very good. Right now my heart's recovering, and I should make a full recovery, hopefully within the next year. But because I'm off PEDs, there's a big change in my physique. This is me, currently at 220 pounds post-op. I have not hit the gym besides one time since. Right now I'm weighing around 220. Before I was 260. So I did lose a lot of weight, and my clothes are falling off. And I will admit it is hard to look at my physique now just because of my body dysmorphia. But I will get back in the gym. Even though I'm not touching anything anymore, I am determined to get back to not where I was, because I never will be able to, but get back to a point where I will be happy about it. The other thing too is I have to wear this defibrillator. This will make sure that if my heart ever stops, I will come back to life. And I'm on a lot of medication. But, like I said before, I'm determined. And that means that I'm going to also have to rebrand this channel. I'm no longer going to be talking about PEDs, and instead I'm going to be focusing more on health, fitness, and anything that's related to that. This is also the best I have felt in 5 years since quitting PEDs. I thought this whole time that my whole life was spiraling out of control, when in reality, it was all in my head, all because of PEDs. And I feel like I could have put myself out of a lot of just bad situations if I was able to think correctly as I can now. Even my hormones are starting to come back. I have not taken a PCT. I cold turkeyed it. So this all astounds me. I feel like I've gotten a second chance in life, and I'm going to make sure that I do what's right and what's best.
So this is amazing. The lad has turned his life around. Unfortunately, it come at the cost of his health. He said in the video that he couldn't think straight. He didn't really have that mental clarity. That's from the Tren. It literally makes you psychotic. They say Tren is roughly around 5 times stronger than normal testosterone, which is insane. I remember a few years ago, one of my clients came to me. He was a long-term client. He used to take steroids back in the day. He was big into bodybuilding at the time, and one of the steroids he took was Trenbolone. And I know this is just an anecdotal experience, but he said when he was on it, all he wanted to do was strangle his missus. It literally makes you crazy. So Tren is no bueno. Now the problem is when people take steroids is they feel superhuman, they feel invincible, they go from here to here super fast, the strength goes through the ceiling, they're filled with energy and aggression, and they just feel like they can attack the gym and recover from anything. But once you go too far down that road and your blood pressure starts creeping up and your calcium levels are increasing within your arteries and you can't sleep and your hormones are all over the place, and then mentally you're an absolute mess with body image issues, you actually forget what feeling good really feels like. And delt.daddy here actually explains that he's never felt better since going natural again. You think jumping on the gear is the best you can ever feel, but it's really not. The best you can feel is when you're natural and everything internally is operating how it should be. Let's go through some of the comments. Heart attack at 20 is wild, man. Glad to hear you're okay, but sadly the damage is already done. You just lowered your lifespan by half. Maybe not half, but maybe so. You never know. And yeah, the damage is done. The good thing is he's got off early. This could have been much worse if it happened a little bit later down the line. How come people like Nick Walker are blasting and walking around at 300 plus pounds, but you get a heart attack? Crazy. And you see, I actually commented here. Most of the time, it is just genetics. You can have some people abuse steroids their entire life and nothing bad happens. And then you can have other lads like this who use steroids for a year or 2 years and then have a heart attack. Some lads will even die as well. I know multiple people within the NHS, family members, friends, and even clients. And one of my clients is the head trauma nurse for one of the hospitals here in the UK. And he says the amount of young lads who are coming into the hospital now with heart problems is the highest it's ever been, and they're all on steroids. And this is why they ask you if you go to the hospital with any heart issues: drinking, smoking, stress, steroids. Take care, brother, your health is way more important than any physique. This is totally true. I've had a lot of health issues these last few months, basically battling with a long-standing chronic fatigue. Look, here's all the supplements I'm on. Absolute nightmare. Right now, my physique is pretty much non-existent compared to where it was at the start of the year, and especially last year, but my health is #1 priority right now, and that's what you lads need to remember if you're contemplating getting on steroids. Okay, you'll build 10 pounds of muscle super easily, but at what cost? Is it really worth increasing your chances of a heart attack? Do you regret taking what you took? Nope, but it's a learning experience. I'm going to disagree with that. It's probably his ego getting in the way of truly admitting that he regrets it. But of course he regrets it. He had a heart attack. Of course you're going to regret taking gear. And after all this, he's just going to end up looking natural at the end of the day. Bro, I urgently need to get in contact with you. I've been running test and deca for 4 weeks and I started getting symptoms of a heart attack. Get your ass to the hospital. Had a heart attack at 25 last year. The gym will be a mind. I remember struggling with 65 pounds on bench press and 210 pounds. Maybe this was also from steroids. So some valuable lessons here, boys. Don't take steroids. We all know this. Stay natural. These examples are right in front of our faces so we can learn from it. Usually people don't listen until it happens to them. People do not take the advice until they experience the pain themselves and they are forced to take action. It's the way it is. Some people do just need to have a heart attack before they'll actually listen. I guarantee this lad felt invincible beforehand. I'm glad he's okay and on the mend anyway, but listen, I predicted it. If you found this video informative, drop me a like, and if you want to watch more content, here's some videos from this channel, and on this side we've got some content from my music channel. Take your pick. Nice one. I'll see you all tomorrow.